our discussion regarding field stripping and disassembling your pistol. I'm going to again try and keep this as short as possible. So the weapon that I'm going to be field stripping is a Smith Wesson M&P Bodyguard 380. Okay, it's a concealed carry weapon. It's essentially a pocket gun. I love everything about this gun. It is very small. It is not like a shield, M&P shield. It is much smaller. Yet the 380 caliber is effective. My experience on the range with this is been nothing but positive. No malfunctions, nothing out of the ordinary. It does have the model that I have has a crimson tracer, which you can probably see. I'm not pointing this at you, but you can see the crimson tracer, which is a nice feature. You click it twice and it flashes. Third time it's off. That's ambidextrous to that crimson tracer. The trigger is heavy. I have not measured the poundage on the trigger pull, but it's heavy, and that's a good thing. It's a concealed carry. I don't think you want a very light trigger on your concealed carry gun. That's my opinion. So I highly recommend, I don't even know if these are in production anymore, the Bodyguards, because all I see is shields all over the place, but I don't see any Bodyguards. So I would recommend, if you want a really small concealed carry that's effective and powerful, and it is, that is very friendly in terms of use and firing, and again, I have not seen anything that would detract me. The only thing I would say is it doesn't have a safety, but other than that, it's what you want in a concealed carry. I mean, it's at least it's what I want. Everybody has their different opinion. So I'm gonna switch the camera here, and I'm gonna go ahead and disassemble this, or field strip it, and show you all what that involves. And hopefully we'll be able to get the camera angled here in a proper way that will allow us to do this. So, first and foremost, there's a couple things to say about this. At the very top of the Bodyguard, you'll see a little opening, a slight opening right there. And what that is intended for is for you to look down to see if there's potentially, if it's loaded, if there's one in the chamber. Basically, you will see the brass shining through. Okay, now that is not a fail-safe, but it's just a quick visual check you can make. If there's brass in there, you're probably going to see it, but that's not all it takes. So the first thing we're going to do is go ahead, push the magazine release here. We have an empty magazine, okay? And we are going to pull back on the slide. We are going to lock the slide. Not sure if you can see that or not. The slide is locked. And then we're going to look inside. And we're going to see that there is nothing in this chamber at all. Okay, so the gun is completely unloaded and cleared. Can't show this enough, I suppose, but there's nothing in here. Okay, so here we have the Bodyguard 380 in a locked position. The slide is locked, barrel is fully extended. So the first step we're going to take is we are going to go ahead and release the takedown lever. To do that, we're going to turn it to a 9 o'clock position, okay? And then we're going to go ahead and pull it out. Now, I want to mention one thing real quick. What do I have right here? It's showing up backwards on camera, but it's the instructions, and I can't say enough. When you're going to disassemble your weapon, even if it's a weapon that you're familiar with, read the instructions every time you disassemble it, because you'll forget things, especially if you have multiple pistols and guns like I do. You're gonna forget little things. Okay, so read the instructions every time you disassemble your gun. Please read the instructions every time that you disassemble your gun. Okay, so here we go. We've got the takedown pin here, and now we have to get this out. Okay, so it takes a little bit. You can see there. And then we pull it out. There's your takedown pin. Or takedown lever, I guess is the best way to put it. And that's out. Now, all we do is pull it back and pull the slide forward. Okay? So here, what we have, again, is a completely empty lower or the base of the gun. I can't think of the word right now. Now, what's important here, and we see, I can pull a trigger here and the hammer doesn't move. Okay, now this is real important because that is what you want. Okay, you don't want that hammer moving. And I'll show you what happens if you pull the hammer back. You get the firing, okay? You don't want to do that. You want that. You want to be able to pull the trigger with no movement in the hammer and no firing action by the hammer. Okay? Now, next, we are going to take the slide, okay? And the components we have here under are just a normal field stripping that we're going to look at. And again, all we're doing this for is inspection and the potential if we are going to clean it or if it were necessary to oil it. In this particular case, this gun has not been fired since the last time I oiled and cleaned it, so neither of these are going to be necessary. So we have here the recoil spring, and within it the guide rod. And all we're going to do is take that out. Alright, so you have the guide rod and the recoil spring. Okay, and we're just going to inspect it quickly. Everything looks okay to me. And then we're going to inspect the slide. I'm looking at it. I don't see anything unusual about it. And then the last thing we're going to do is we're going pop out the barrel. Okay. And we're going to look at this barrel. You can see. And everything looks legit. No, if you look at the barrel itself, there's nothing there indicating any kind of damage. You can't see probably, but to the touch, it's still oiled from the last time that I did it. And again, don't over oil anything. So that's it. Your barrel is out, your guide rod and recoil spring is out, your slide is off, and everything looks good. Okay? So, next we're going to go ahead and we're just going to put everything back together. So we'll take our barrel, and put it back in there. See? Looks good. Take our recoil spring and guide rod, put it in the corresponding slot. And this is pretty easy. There's nothing really to align or level up or anything. It's a circular fitting there on the guide rod that just clicks into that little spot, and you're good to go there. And then the last, well, not quite the last step, but almost, is we're just going to slide this carefully back on into this position here and make sure everything feels right. Again, we have that trigger in a situation where it isn't moving. The trigger is not moving. Okay? Now we're going to pull it all the way back. I'm going to use the slide stop right here to lock that back. Now what's real important here is this barrel right there. That's not right. It's not sufficient. We need to get that barrel all the way out. So you press here and make sure that barrel is all the way out. Okay? And then lastly, we are going to put the takedown lever back in. Now this can be a little bit tricky with these, but this is very, very important. When you do this, you've got to do it, and it takes a little, what did Bush say? Strategery to make sure that this thing is in there and locked in. So I'm going to turn this around for a second, and hopefully you'll hear the click. Okay, hopefully you heard that click. And now when you look at it, it's in the exact correct position. Okay? Now, we're pretty much ready to go. Okay? So, this is locked in. By the way, if this pin or takedown lever is not locked in, where you hear that click, it is possible to fire this gun at the range and for the slide to completely disengage and come off of the gun. It can happen. Okay? So whatever you do, when you're reassembling this, make sure that that pin, that takedown lever, is tight, secure. Okay, so now we're just gonna pull back on the slide, and there we go. We're back to where we should be. Again, we didn't do any cleaning or oiling because I have not fired this since the last time I cleaned and oiled it. And finally, we'll take our empty mag and we'll put it in the right way. And there we go. Smith Wesson M&P Bodyguard 380, disassembled, field stripped, reassembled. Okay. I hope this was helpful. I went on a little bit longer than I wanted to. I'm going to go ahead and put this down for one moment. Reorient the camera here, and just real quickly again stress a few things. As I said in part one, this is not this disassembly and reassembly was done for instructional purposes for someone who wants to see it, maybe owns this gun or is thinking about owning this gun. But don't do it for the sake of it. Do it when necessary. Next, read the manual. Read the instructions every single time you disassemble your gun. No matter how much you think you're familiar with it, it is going to always give you something that you might possibly have forgotten, or you might even learn. You may have never done it before. You may have disassembled your gun 10, 20 times, and you never realized, oh, I didn't know that, and this is all about safety, okay? The safer, responsible gun owners are with their guns, the easier it is for us to protect our rights to have them. Our constitutional right under the Second Amendment to have, own, carry guns. The better responsible folks are at handling them, having a knowledge of them, understanding them, the better off our country will be. Thank you for your time. Sorry I went on a little longer than I hoped to, but I tried to go as quickly and safely as possible. So thank you very much. Please like, subscribe, comment, share, do all those things. And again, Buxton Maker, we sell retail gun accessories and parts. Check out our website, derbuxtonmaker.wixsite.com, or on Twitter at derbuxtonmaker, or on Facebook at derbuxtonmaker. And please comment whatever you'd like. Something I missed, something I could have done better, let me know. But I think I can't thank you guys enough. And again,